great day. It's Monday, April 10th, 2023. Welcome to the House of Masculinity. I'm Blackjack, by the way. Salute. Y'all ready to have a chit chat? Tribe up, Monagas. Salute to the whole tribe. Salute to all my day one Nagas. All my Nagas that support the House of Masculinity. Hit that like button. Share the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And if you want to support monetarily, we got the cash app at the top of the screen. Cash.app/$ House of Masculinity. Salute to all my Nagas that be supporting. I love all my Nagas. We in the stronghold of the Naga over here in America. Salute.
You big dummy.
Hey, we got merchandise over there at www.strictlyformynagas.com, and we got it in the chat if you ain't get it. But if you want to go there, you can check out some of the merchandise we got on deck. Support the house. Support your fellow Naga. Hey, we just bringing this real truth. It's historic truth. Historical records. Primary sources. And tonight, conversation for the night is that so-called quote-unquote blacks are owed more than 40 acres and a mule.
You big dummy.
Salute. Yeah, the quote-unquote, the so-called blacks, like we see on the thumbnail, are owed more than 40 acres and a mule. Because the so-called blacks are in fact the Native Americans.
You big dummy.
The real ones. Tribe up, Monagas. So-called color, so-called Negro. Conversation about you again. Yeah, America owes so-called blacks more than 40 acres and a mule. They owe us a whole lot more than that. U.S. government, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You know you owe the Naga more than 40 acres and a mule. I'm quite sure everybody done heard 40 acres and a mule, 40 acres and a mule. But do you know the real history of 40 acres and a mule? Yeah, I know what the hijack done told us all throughout school and as we was growing up. We know what we've been told about 40 acres and a mule. Well, is that the truth? Is that the truth? Is that the origin of 40 acres and a mule? Is that the beginning? Or is that just a throw-off? Salute. We're gonna talk about it tonight. Like I got three Nagas watching. How many likes I got? How many dislikes I got? If we got 3 Nagas watching, we ought to have at least 3 likes or 3 dislikes. Salute. So y'all hit that like button, hit that dislike button if you don't like what we talking. If you do like what we talking about, hit that like button. So we're gonna get back to the conversation though. We're talking what the US owes quote unquote black people. Are black people owed more than 40 acres and a mule? I believe so. And I can prove it. And I can prove that the origin of 40 acres and a mule ain't what you thinking it is. We know we've been taught in school, like I said, we're gonna look at that. We're gonna look at what we was taught first. We're gonna look at the hijack first, right?
You big dummy.
And then we're gonna look at the truth. We're gonna find out where 40 acres and a mule truly came from. We about to get dangerous, y'all.
You big dummy.
Biatch.
So let's take a look. 40 acres and a mule. Salute. 40 acres and a mule. We're gonna start with Wikipedia. Since we starting with the hijack, we're gonna start right off with the hijack. We're gonna start with Wikipedia, straight up hijack. And we're gonna start off with what we was told 40 acres and a mule come from. And then we're gonna double back and I'm gonna show you what came before what you was told. Salute. 40 acres and a mule. Alright. See, they talking about Wikipedia. First thing they want to talk about is a film production company. We don't want to hear nothing about a film production company. Alright. See, 40 acres and a mule film works. If you're looking for the film, we ain't looking for the film, we looking for the truth, we looking for history. So let's scroll down. So 40 acres and a mule was part of Special Field Orders number 15, a wartime order proclaimed by Union General William Tecumseh Sherman. This ain't the real Tecumseh. This ain't the Naga Tecumseh. How you get a middle name Tecumseh? That ain't the Naga. Hey, well, let's continue. Union General William Tecumseh Sherman on January 16, 1865. 1865. Y'all ought to be familiar with that date. That's the date they told you Naga slavery was over. They told you slavery came to an end in 1865, and all the nigglets was let free. That's what you was told, right? Salute. All right. So January 16, 1865, during the American Civil War, to allot land to some freed families in plots of land no larger than 40 acres. Sherman later ordered the army to lend mules for the agrarian reform effort. The field orders followed a series of conversations between Secretary of War Edwin M. Stanton and radical Republican abolitionists Charles Sumner and Thaddeus Stevens. Following disruptions to the institution of slavery provoked by the American Civil War, many free people believed, after being told by various political figures that they had a right to own the land they had been forced to work on as slaves, and were eager to control their own property. Free people widely expected to legally claim 40 acres of land. However, Abraham Lincoln's successor as president, Andrew Johnson, tried to reverse the intent of Sherman's wartime order number 15 and similar provisions included in the Second Freedmen's Bureau bills. Some land redistribution occurred under military jurisdiction during the war and for a brief period thereafter. However, federal and state policy during the Reconstruction era emphasized wage labor, not land ownership, for Negroes, for blacks, for Indians, right? For black people. Almost all land allocated during the war was restored to its pre-war white owners. So they said during the war, they got the Nagas to fight and say, yeah, we'll give you some land. As soon as the war was over, it went right back to the whites. Several black communities did not maintain control of their land, and some families obtained new land by homesteading. Black land ownership increasingly markedly in Mississippi during the 19th century, particularly the 1800s, right? The state had much undeveloped bottomland, low-lying alluvial land near a river, behind riverfront areas that had been cultivated before the war. Most black people acquired land through private transactions, with ownership peaking at 15 million acres, 6.1 million hectares, or 23,000 square miles in 1910, before an extended financial recession caused problems that resulted in the loss of property for many. Yeah, that recession, it was purposely done. It was purposely done to rob and break the Naga. Salute.
You big dummy.
Biatch.
Don't be fooled, y'all. Don't be fooled. Slavery. Yeah, the institution of slavery. We know all about that on this channel. Salute my Naga. Hit me up in the chat. Let me know what you at. Hit that like button, subscribe, share the video. Salute. If you're a real Naga, hit that like button. If you a fake, hit that dislike. If you a hater and you just sit here eavesdropping, go on, hit that dislike. We got 5 Nagas watching and we ain't got but 1 like. You know what I'm saying? If you a sucker ass Naga, you can hit the door, let the door not hit your ass with the most I split your ass. I do this for my real Nagas. And haters can excuse themselves right now. You know what I'm saying? I don't care who watching. I do it for the tribe. Tribe but my Nagas, hit me up in the chat. If you one of my real Nagas, hit me up in the chat. You know what I'm saying? They won't fuck with no fakers, no $5 pretendians. You know what I'm saying? Only the real. You know what I'm saying? Salute to 777 teaching. Salute to all my Nagas. You feel me? All my Nagas. We don't fuck with no fakers. Salute to Jackie Salah. You know what I'm saying? Hey, salute to all the real Nagas. Salute the Task Coach CEO. Salute the One General. Salute the Cool Man. Salute to all my day ones, all my A1s, everybody that support, everybody that be in the chat, all my Alabama Nagas, all my Florida and my Georgia Nagas. Hit that like. Let's see what we got. Let me see how many real Nagas. Let me see how many real Nagas we got in here. We got 2 real Nagas. And we got the synagogue of Satan bitch ass in here too. So let's continue, y'all. We ain't gonna worry about they eavesdropping. They wanna hear what the Naga talking about. They wanna blend in with the tribe. We tribing up on them and they mad. We let them eavesdrop. But yeah, so we was talking the Civil War. We was talking 1865. They freed the nigglets. And what happened next? And they want to tell you about the 40 Acres and the Mule and General Tecumseh and all this bullshit in 1865. But was 40 Acres and the Mule really older than what they telling you? Was it even General so-called William Tecumseh's idea? I think not. I know not. We're gonna go here, and right now we on sites.rootsweb.com. So if you want to read along, you can go to sites.rootweb.com.
You big dummy.
Biatch.
Let's read, y'all. We about to get dangerous. 40 Acres and a Mule in 1837, not 1865. We're talking about almost 30 years prior to that. Previous to 18, we're talking 28 years before Tecumseh and his so-called order number 15. Let's see the real roots of 40 Acres and the Mule. In 1837, a treaty was entered upon between the Chickasaw and Choctaw nations. Yeah, the real blacks. You call it African Americans. You're talking freed slaves and all this order 15. You're talking all this 40 Acres and the Mules for African Americans, and it really is for the Native Americans, the American Naga, the black nigger Indians. In 1837, a treaty was entered upon between the Chickasaw and Choctaw nations, and the U.S. government, although the Choctaw had previously removed to Indian territory, Chickasaw had not. Now the white settlers were moving into Alabama and Mississippi. Shout out to my Alabama Naga. Shout out to my Mississippi Nagas. Y'all hit that like button. Salute.
Biatch.
We're the stronghold of the Naga, the land of the native Naga. Yeah, Alabama and Mississippi. The settlers wanted to move into the Chickasaw land, and the government wanted the Chickasaws move west. They wanted them niggas move west. Trail of Tears, you feel me? In this treaty, the Chickasaws were given the right to live in the Choctaw Nation and anywhere they wanted. This nation was the southern half of Oklahoma, south of the Canadian River, encompassing the southern half of the state. The Chickasaws were also forced to pay the Choctaws a staggering sum of $530,000 for the right to live in the new Choctaw Nation. This amount would be more than $8 million in today's money. It has not come to my attention of any other tribe that was forced to give up their land in the southeast and pay for their new land in the west at the same time. Now, history is a little bit different than the commonly held beliefs. Yeah, history a lot different than these commonly held beliefs, these hijacked beliefs you've been taught in school. 40 Acres and talking about General Tecumseh. Yeah. Go back to 1837 though, not 1865. Yeah, now history is a little bit different than the commonly held beliefs of the Trail of Tears. In fact, the Chickasaws could remain in their homes and not move west if they preferred. All they had to do was declare themselves U.S. citizens. Say you a Negro now, you an African American. You want to vote, don't you? You want to be equal. You want to be a U.S. citizen and dissolve any and all ties to your tribal rights. You a nigga now? You ain't an Indian no more? You want to be equal. You want to be equal to the white man. You want to vote. You want to do all that. You want to give up the consent to be governed, the consent to be controlled. You say, yeah, come on and control me. Salute.
You big dummy.
We're talking real history here, no fake shit. They said all they had to do was declare themselves U.S. citizens and dissolve any and all ties to their tribal lands. You just live out here with everybody else. You ain't got to go to the Trail of Tears. You ain't got to go on a reservation. You just sign right here and say you're black, right on this U.S. census. You a colored now. Forget that Chickasaw stuff. Forget that Pequot stuff you was talking. Forget that Seminole stuff. You a black now. Who among us would want to divorce our mothers, fathers, brothers, and sisters, never to see them again, and forever give up the right to be a member of the family? This is what the government offered. Most chose to move for obvious reasons. Although, this is where it's going to get real, man. This is where it's going to get real. I want y'all to pay attention. Have your third eye mind straight, and don't go for no third eye mind tricks. Although the Chickasaw people were now living in the Choctaw Nation, in 1840, they had no defined borders, no capital, and no legislature. They were an autonomous people in a foreign land. Yeah, they right here at home. Talking about a foreign land because they live in amongst the Choctaw. It's a foreign land now. And they were slowly being absorbed into the Choctaws, both culturally and politically. In 1855, the Chickasaws entered into another treaty with the Choctaws to set up an independent nation with defined borders. The Choctaws were pretty smart about this arrangement. So they say, you gotta take some of this with a grain of salt. It's coming from a hijacker point of view, but he putting some truth in here with some of his own imagination, I guess. He's saying the dreaded Comanches and Kiowas were in the western half of Oklahoma. The Choctaw gave the middle 1/3 of the nation to the Chickasaws. This put a 200-mile buffer zone between the Choctaws and the Comanches, with the Chickasaws serving as so much cannon fodder. A new nation was formed, a constitution written, and a governor elected. The new nation prospered through the hard work and industrious nature of its people. The Chickasaws became the wealthiest among the five civilized tribes. Now, peep that, in Oklahoma now, after the Trail of Tears, right? The Chickasaw was small tribe. They say they was very industrious, and they say there was an industrious nature of the people. The Chickasaw became the wealthiest among the five civilized tribes. Now, peep this: we in Oklahoma now. As the land was held in common by the tribe, a citizen could farm or ranch as much land as he could handle. As the people prospered, they acquired more slaves to work the land and prospered even more. Now, so they say slaves or these other Chickasaws. A commonly held idea is that the Emancipation Proclamation outlawed slavery in this country. A careful reading of this instrument, however, shows that this order freed only the slaves in the southern states and counties that were still under Confederate control. The slaves in the rest of the country were not necessarily freed by this act. Slavery was still legal in practice in the West after the Civil War. In 1866, the Chickasaw and Choctaw nations, as well as many other Indian tribes, entered into yet another treaty with the U.S. government. This treaty very nearly destroyed the two tribes financially after the Civil War. This treaty was very lengthy, complicated, and contrived. Nearly destroyed them financially, right? Don't it sound familiar? Trail of Tears, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street in the middle of an Indian reservation. Don't it all sound familiar to you? Yeah, the CNC nations were independent nations and had to be dealt with as any sovereign nation by treaty. One of the articles in this treaty stated that the CNC nations would give each ex-slaves 40 acres and grant full vote and citizenship to the slaves as free and equal members of the respective tribes. So they want to call them slaves. It's a hijack that done rewrote this. It wasn't slaves. These Nagas was the chiefs and the leaders of the tribes. Trust me. The Chickasaws were not only the wealthiest, but also the smallest in population among the five civilized tribes. So they say the smallest. Why? Because a lot of them just said, go ahead and just make me a black or a Negro and I'm going to just live on out here. And they stayed in their homes, on their ancestral lands, like in Florida, Georgia, and Alabama. The other four tribes eventually granted citizenship to their ex-slaves. You ain't grant citizen nothing. Them so-called slaves is the tribe. The Chickasaws had a much different problem. Upon a quick head count by the Chickasaw government, it was determined that there were, check this, as many as 10,000 blacks, Nagas, Negroes, so-called ex-slaves, not Africans, so-called ex-slaves. The population of the other Chickasaws numbered about 6,000. So who is the real Chickasaw? Salute.
You big
talking about
dummy.
10,000 Nagas versus 6,000 other. 10,000 Nagas that you counted, and the other ones decided to stay put where they was at and said, call me whatever you want. So who the leader, who the real tribe is? One can immediately see a very serious problem. Yeah, I can immediately see this. Yeah, 10,000 Nagas versus 6,000 members. Yeah. That you counted. If full citizenship was granted with full voting rights, one can readily see that the Chickasaw tribe would immediately become Naga tribe. So-called African. So a Naga, it was already a Naga tribe. What you talking? Negro. And the full blood Chickasaw, the Negro. He ain't hijack. I don't even want to read no more of his hijack. But you see where the origin of 40 Acres and a Mule come from. Indian dealings, boss. 1837. Not no African American nothing. Land records. The following is a picture of some freedmen enrolling. Freedmen. Who are these freedmen? Are they Chickasaw freedmen? Hit that like button. We're studying real history over here. We won't go for no third eye mind tricks, no hijack. We study real history. Who is these freedmen they talking about? Let's see. We talking 40 Acres and a Mule. Introduction. The Chickasaw and the Choctaw freedmen were allotted 40 acres of land. Ho, I think we own something, boss. It's 40 acres and a mule. Why would you even give an African 40 acres? If you got 40 acres to give an African, if they were really Africans, why you ain't send them back to Africa? By force, not choice. If you brought them by force from Africa, not choice. When you was finished with them or when you freed them, if that's where they was really from, why you ain't send them back by force, not choice? That ain't where they came from. We know they was American Indian slaves. We know who these Negroes was. You ain't gonna lie to us. Some received a little more, some a little less, depending on the quality of the land. The higher the quality, the less received, usually 20 acres. Average quality land was 40 acres. An allotment certificate and patent were issued to the freedmen. That's why I tell you niggas, man, you better do your family history, man. Do your family tree, man. You don't know, you think you from Africa, do your damn family tree, man. Your ancestors probably was an Indian freedman that got land allotments. You probably got your 40 acres and ain't even know about it. Your family might have got that. Look at here. Look at the disclaimer. Look at the hijack disclaimer. This is in bold print, not the same 40 acres promised to blacks. Get the fuck out of here. It ain't the same promise to blacks. Well, who is these freedmen you showing us right here? Ain't they blacks? Ain't they Nagas? Ain't they Negroes? You cannot lie to me.
You big dummy.
Biatch.
Yeah, he Chickasaw, he Choctaw, he freedmen. These Choctaw, Chickasaw freedmen, ex-slaves, right? Yeah, 40 Acres and the Mules. Indian Voices. Yeah, we on Indian Voices now, y'all. www.indianvoices.net. 40 Acres and the Mule. It's a 40 Acres and the Mule on Indian Voices. The black ass Naga again with his feathers. And who is this in the middle? 40 Acres and a Mule after the Civil War, the former slaves. Man, y'all. Do we even have to go here, man? Do we even have to go here, y'all? Do we even have to go here? Code switch. Code switch. Look at code switch. Switch the code on them. The story behind 40 Acres and a Mule. We're going to switch the code on them. Switch their title. Reclassify them. Call them Negroes now. He no longer Chickasaw. That ain't a Seminole no more. He's a Negro now. Yeah, the Civil War was winding down 150 years ago. Union leaders gathered a group of black ministers in Savannah, Georgia. Shout out to my Savannah, Georgia Nagas. Salute.
You big dummy.
Biatch.
Salute to all my Nagas in Savannah. All my Georgia Nagas. The goal was to help the thousands of newly freed slaves, huh? Yeah, thousands, huh? I bet. Man, y'all, we be digging on real history. They don't like this shit, man. They don't like what we got popping over here, y'all. They don't like what we got popping all around in there. I ain't the only Naga doing this. We got a couple Nagas dropping that real, waking the tribe up, letting Nagas know who they is. And there's a certain group of people out there don't like that shit, y'all. They don't like. Why they so mad when a Naga know who he is? What's the deal with that? You gotta ask yourself, why? It gotta be true. If you got people getting this angry because a Naga over here reading dangerous books, they say you dangerous. They say your followers are delusional. Who's really the delusional one? My Naga, I ain't write these books, my Naga. I just know about them. I talk about them. I mean, what's the harm in discussion? People scared to talk race like they got something to hide. I ain't scared to talk race. Talk race with anybody. I don't care if you a Naga, if you ain't a Naga, we can talk race. I ain't got nothing to hide. The only people that scared to talk race is people that got something to hide. Let's talk about it. Let's have a conversation. We ain't gotta call each other names. I'm gonna get out that vibe. I know I've been clowning or wilding in here, you know what I'm saying, calling out people. I'm gonna cut that out. Cause I'm gonna get back. Cause all I gotta do is get back to the knowledge. I ain't gotta call nobody a name. I can stick straight to the knowledge and we'll win all day. Where y'all receipts at? The pale face white man wanna come over here and tell a Naga who he is? Where your receipts at? Come telling me who I am. Show me your receipts. You can tell me who you is all day. If you ain't got no receipts, what we really talking about? Y'all just making assumptions. We all just calling each other names. We ain't gonna get nowhere like that. We ain't gonna never get nowhere like that. Hey, Jack and Salah in the house, salute. Hey, these hijacks lies lame as hell. Jack can say they lame. It is. I just did a video count. I done dropped the 70 something videos on the topic, y'all. And I'm gonna keep pushing till I got about 700 videos on it. Cause we just gotta we gotta dominate the lane. That's all it is. We gotta dominate the lane. Other people trying to jack our identity. It's time for us to dominate the lane. We gotta dominate the information. We gotta control the narrative. It's ours. We own it. Nobody else should be controlling our narrative. There shouldn't be nobody else having more Indian history videos than us. It damn sure ain't no more reputation of more other people than it is of us, especially when we talking about ancient historical reputations. It's all us. So if anybody should be talking about it, it should be us. That's my word. Hey man, I just wanted to get it popping tonight, you know what I'm saying? Have a little conversation with y'all, man. Y'all hit the chat. Let me know what y'all think, you know what I'm saying, about this 40 Acres and a Mule deal. Did you really know the real history of 40 Acres and a Mule? Did you know the real history?
With the Gary Cooper killing off the Indians when you were rooting for Gary Cooper.
You told some bullshit.
That the Indians were you.
Put a feather up, my Naga.
You's a real Naga, throw a feather up. Tribe up, my Naga, put your bows and arrows up. The stronghold of the Naga ain't scared of us. They try to dumb a Naga down, but we leveled up. Yeah.
I'm Black Jack.
Strictly for my Nagas.
How's the masculinity?
Africa. I mean, when they were marching, people started screaming in the suburbs, back to Africa with them. Back to Africa with who? Shit, I ain't never been to Africa. Don't send me home, send me to St. Louis, Missouri. 44, 61 Enright, top floor.
Say my house.
Africa, what the hell I look like? Standing in the jungle with a $750 Moab suit and some alligator shoes.
Split your ass with a no time. Split your ass.
That's not hunting garb. I'm here all the way.